The day of the convocation finally arrived. Rebecca, dressed in her finest lace, though it was years out of fashion, her face glowing with a pride that made her look younger than her years. She took their youngest son, David, to witness the triumph. She imagined a public thank you, a shared embrace, a moment where the tray on her head would finally be replaced by the honor she deserved. She walked onto the campus grounds, her heart full. But Francis did not look for her in the crowd. Instead, he stood in the shadow of a blooming flame tree with Winnie, a woman whose hands had never known the weight of a basin. Winnie was refined, a mirror reflecting the man Francis now believed himself to be. When Rebecca approached, Francis didn't see a partner. He saw a reminder of a struggle he wanted to forget. He looked at her worn shoes with a cold, distant shame. The silence in their home grew heavy and jagged after the graduation. The celebrations Rebecca had planned sat untouched on the table. When she finally asked him about Winnie, the man who had once promised her the world turned into a stranger. He spoke of levels and fitting in, his voice sharp as a razor. He told her she was a relic of his poverty, a ghost he no longer wished to be haunted by. The betrayal turned physical when Rebecca refused to let him simply walk away from the life they had built. In a flash of unbridled cruelty, Francis struck her. The blow was more than just a hand against skin. It was the final shattering of a decade of devotion. As she fell against the wall, he spat out the words that hurt more than the bruise. "You are just a hawker, Rebecca. You don't belong in my new world." Francis left that night, taking his degrees and his new life with him. The house felt cavernous and cold, but the children were still there. Rebecca pulled Daniel close as he wept for a father who had traded them for a shiny new facade. She looked at her son's face and realized that while she had lost a husband, she had regained herself. The heavy tray was gone, and the burden of carrying a man who didn't want to be carried was finally lifted. As the first light of dawn filtered through the window, Rebecca sat at her kitchen table. She opened the old wooden trunk and pulled out her law books. They were dusty, but the words inside were still true. She realized that her sacrifice hadn't been a waste. It had been a testament to her strength. She wasn't just a woman who had been left behind. She was a woman who had survived. A new chapter was beginning, and this time, the dream she worked for would be her own.